Talk. Oscars nominations came out today for the Academy Awards in Los Angeles, and of course, remember, it was just a few years ago, a couple of years ago, where Oscars So White was trending, and so they've been trying to, do their best, but we still know what the deal is. But let's talk about some big nominations that came down the pipe. Spike Lee, remember last year Spike Lee was provided one of the honorary Oscars for his body of work, but this year he received his first ever nomination for Best Director for the movie BlacKkKlansman. Now, there were Spike Lee's been nominated 2 other times, but he also got nominated this year in Best Adapted Screenplay. And so this is how Spike Lee and his wife Tanya reacted when the nominations came down this morning.
His phone's blowing up.
Okay, pretty interesting reaction. I'm sure Tanya is saying, did y'all actually shoot that video with that on my head? I'm going to send her a text later. Mahershala Ali, of course, nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the movie The Green Book. My homegirl, Regina King, nominated Best Supporting Actress for If Beale Street Could Talk. She did not get nominated for a SAG Award, but you might remember she won the Golden Globe for that movie. Jenkins, who last year won with Best Picture for Moonlight, he was nominated, and also he won an Oscar last year for a screenplay. Well, he was nominated this year for Best Adapted Screenplay for If Beale Street Could Talk. And this was the tweet that he sent out right here. I'm always overseas when nominations come out and I don't watch. Instead, my publicist slips notes under my door and I find them when I return. Much love from the Beale Street family to Queen Regina King and my right hand, Nicholas Bertel, on the Oscar noms. Now, guys, they showed just the text there, but I got to show y'all the actual photo that he posted on his page. And so, Henry, see my iPad? All right, so y'all, this is the actual photo right here. And so so you see here, there's one note, and here is another note, and here is the third note. And so maybe it's best when they drop Oscar nominations that he go ahead and just stay out of town. And so he won't have to worry about that. Let's also, Ruth Carter, folks, she's been nominated numerous times for Spike Lee movies for an Oscar nomination. She got this nomination for Best Costume Design for Black Panther. And here is how Ruth reacted.
Hey, good morning. What a great morning it is. I got nominated this morning. That makes this morning like the morning of all time to be alive in the world. Yes, me nominated.
All right, so I've been chatting with Ruth and her people today, so look for her to be on Roland Unfiltered soon. Terence Blanchard, he's done many of Spike Lee's original scores, including Malcolm X. He got nominated for Best Original Score for BlacKkKlansman. Hannah Beachler got Best Production Design nomination for Black Panther. She is the first African-American ever nominated for Best Production Design. Also, Black Panther was nominated for Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and also Best Picture. But Ryan Coogler, who directed the movie, wasn't nominated for Best Director. Also a nominee for Best Picture, BlacKkKlansman, nominated, of course, directed by Spike Lee, and The Green Book, also nominated for Best Picture. Talk about interesting there. Now, let's just be clear. Y'all know how we roll. And so we talk about many of these movies. Of course, very soon, the NAACP will be dropping their nominations for the awards. We'll be, of course, presenting that as well. And so we talked about also Golden Globes, SAG Awards, and some of the others. And so it's important for us to highlight all of those. Obviously, when it comes to the Oscars, and that's a huge deal in the industry because that is considered to be the creme de la creme. Here's the thing on when you talk about this idea of going back to Oscar So White. But most people who don't really understand Hollywood is that movies are in the pipelines. Mm-hmm. So you can have, you take Oscar So White, which was 2 or 3 years ago.
All right.
You literally have some movies where the development is 3, 5, 10 years.
Right.
So when we talk about, you look at those number of nominations, but the reality is, in the top categories, only 4 people of color were nominated out of the top 20 for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting, and those categories. There were no female directors who were nominated. And so when you talk about movies starring us, directed by us, written by us, that's also a pipeline issue. And so part of that was about how do you get more of those movies in the pipelines. And the same thing, even though Rich Crazy Asians did not get nominated, again, I think because of the success of that film, you're going to be seeing more of those films that star Asians as well. Just your thoughts on the roundup there of the nominations.
Hey, first of all, I'm still on the Wakanda high from last year. I don't know when I'll get off of it. I can't wait to go back and wear my dashiki, go back to the theater.
Now, why don't you wear it on the show? Hold on, let's see if you got the courage to wear it on the show, like Greg Carr does.
Next week.
All right.
Next week.
All right.
I'll be on the show.
Come here with your Republican bow tie. No, hell no. I don't want no Kente Claus bow tie. I want to see Malik walk his ass on this show. I want to see Malik bring his ass on this show in a dashiki.
From Roland.
That's what I want to
see.
see.
Roland.
Republicans gonna stop returning every phone call he got.
But I just want to say real quickly though, these are I really do get excited when black people, when we are going places where they tell us that we can't go. So whether we're, I don't watch awards, I really don't follow them, but whenever we're winning, I think for me, if one of us is winning, all of us are winning. So I'm always going to be excited to see, whether it's award shows or running for office or whatever, I'm going to always be excited to see that.
Yeah, I want to see more participation regarding like the social status of I always see the negative, like when 4 people are being chosen, but we neglect to forget about a woman director. Yeah. So for me, I love seeing the directors and the writers. Me personally, those are the ones I'm always having my eye on, because those are the ones, really like the thought process behind the entire narrative, right? And then actually bringing that vision to light. So when I don't see us reflected, or actually bringing up in the awards, I definitely get disappointed. And now I'm like, I kind of go back to the speeches of Viola Davis, where she stood her ground and said, look, we need to be more so a part of the conversation. Right. We need to be more so at the table. And, but when I see that, it kind of makes me reflect to that.
So Spike Lee, overdue. I mean, you think about movies that have stood the test of time, like Do the Right Thing, the issues today. So Spike Lee.
3 of his movies.
Malcolm X.
3 of his movies are in I think it's the Library of Congress or the National Film Registry. It's one of those. But go ahead. But to your point.
Yeah, just fine work. Regina King, outstanding performance here in terms of nuance with regard to Beale Street. So excited about that prospect. And finally, for all these people who are making decisions about where they're going to go to school, I really want to point out Ruth Carter, Hampton University, a lot of illustrious alumni from Hampton University. Ruth Carter in terms of Black Panther costumes.
Well, one of the things that I am, and so folks, as we're talking, the reason I'm actually going over Spike Lee's Instagram page, because I wanted to find, because when he was on Capitol Hill, he posted a photo that I wanted to show y'all that he was talking about. But one of the things that I think is important, what I like about this is also you saw the variety. So when you talk about production design, sound mixing, that's important because those are jobs.
Right. Yeah.
And and I've done a lot of a lot of interviews with black talent, but also directors. And it's important for us to let people understand. David Talbert talked about this when I did one of the screenings for Almost Christmas, that those are jobs. And so we can't be locked out of those jobs too. A lot of people get so consumed by what happens in the front of the camera.
Right.
But when you talk about breaking down barriers. Yes, all of those crew jobs,
Right.
those folks who, when you talk about Terence Blanchard being able to do one of Spike Lee's movies and then with original score and now parlaying that to other movies. When you talk about Ernest Dickerson being a cinematographer on a Spike Lee movie and going on to do other movies and then also directing films, we must also be letting our children know that you can be in movies,
Yes.
but you ain't got to be Viola Davis.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And, and you said something that, and it's resonated. You talked about the pipeline, and I really never thought of these sort of things in that context. So if you're talking about, so you said something about cinematographers, there are, we can create these opportunities for each other. We just have to reach back.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times we don't do that. We don't reach back. We talk about, people want to be rappers or, singers or whatever, but the sound mixers, the people in the production room, being able to work those boards, that's a skill set. And I think we need to be encouraging each other to do those type of things, reach back to each other, help somebody out. There's so much money to be made. There's so many opportunities out here.
Here it is. This was a tweet that Spike sent out on January 10th. The Library of Congress, the National Film Registry. Spike, go to my iPad. Spike, 3 of Spike movies. In fact, the year of Do the Right Thing, I believe it was that year, and Spike is still pissed by it. That was a year that Driving Miss Daisy won the Oscar for Best Picture.
Right.
But Spike always notes that Driving Miss Daisy ain't in the National Film Registry.
What are the other two?
It was
Malcolm X. I know it, Malcolm X.
I gotta see what the other, but he has. He said there are three of Spike's films are in the National Film Registry. The National Film Registry, the Library of Congress.
Okay.
3 of them. And so again, just for folks to understand, again, all those other wins are vital. And so when you talk about adapted screenplay. Barry Jenkins is an Oscar winner because he won last year, and that's crucial that we also break those barriers down. That way, our writers are getting their scripts out. Then all of a sudden, the people who are building sets and who are talking about clothing and costumes. Then when you talk about, all of those jobs, pay.
Can I just say something very
Malik
quick?
and Spencer real quick.
And just, so you guys probably, you can't see it, but what we're talking about, Roland does that with his show. So Roland's show, yes, it's diverse, but Wakanda is on the set in Roland's show.
Because it's the same
They're
thing.
behind the cameras.
It's
They're
the same
doing
thing.
the work.
So when Regina King announced that, she said, "Hey, all my future projects, 50% of the crew is gonna be women."
Right.
Oh, wow.
And somebody asked Spike Lee about that on the set. Spike said, "That ain't new to me."
Right.
Spike said, "I've been doing that." Because the reality is, it's about how do you use your power to say, no, I'm going to put people on. And I got to give y'all just real quick before Spencer comments. When Spike did Malcolm X, so the Teamsters control the trucks. And so when we talk about a movie set, a lot of people haven't been on a movie set.
Right.
And folks, I've been on numerous movie sets. And so guess what? There's transportation. There's catering. The catering contract is huge because you got to feed the crew every day, sometimes for 2 and 3 months. The transportation contract. So what Spike said is, the Teamsters, so Spike had the Fruit of Islam. And so the Teamsters roll up and said, we're going to shut your movie down unless you have Teamsters driving these trucks.
Is that the union?
That's the
The Teamsters.
Okay. Yep.
Spike said, the Fruit of Islam going to deal with y'all unless y'all go find some black truck drivers in the Teamsters union.
Because you got them.
They ain't have them.
Don't. You'd be surprised.
The next day,
They found him.
they found them. But the only reason those black truck drivers
Was because he said.
got into the Teamsters union because Spike said, y'all ain't driving nothing on this movie set unless y'all have some black truck drivers. The same thing he told media. You want to come interview me about Malcolm X? Send a black staffer. It caused all these white folks like, oh Lord,
Get the contact book.
They looked around, it was kind of like, damn, we don't have any black staffers. Yeah, we knew y'all didn't.
Right.
But again, that's how you use your power.
Right.
Teresa, go ahead.
Yeah, so from experience, I have a lot of good friends that have the SAG card, so that's pretty much, you're part of the actors piece. 2 of my friends went from acting actually into the production side. So they're working out in Atlanta doing location scout and production, doing really phenomenal things, but also, to your point, doing the give back.
Yep. And so again, folks, we're going to have several of those nominees on Roland Martin Unfiltered before leading up to the Academies. And so you want to keep watching our show. And again, ain't nobody else doing black TV. Nobody else. And if they are, they ain't doing the way we doing it. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. The folks at D Herbs, one of our partners here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Of course, many of us are focused on a healthier you in 2019. And so some folks, for them, they want to lose weight, they want to look better, they want to feel better, they want to get ready for, of course, beach season. Well, what you can do is what I also did is be on the D Herbs Body Cleanse. I got 5 more days left. Been on it since 2 Mondays ago. And, of course, it's not too bad. You're good. It's okay. Raw vegetables and fruits and lots of water. And also with the cleanse, of course, people trying to clean themselves out with excessive holiday eating. Of course, processed foods, fried foods, and all of that fun stuff, but not always fully healthy for you. Now, your body needs to recover, and the full body cleanse will help you get rid of the toxic buildup that will not only drag you down, but could be very dangerous if you don't do anything about it. If you want to feel better and stop dragging around and have more energy, go ahead and do the full body cleanse from D Herbs. Now, all you got to do is go to dherbs.com right now and use the promo code Roland for a discount at checkout. That's the letter D for dherbs.com. You can call 866-4DHERBS, 866-4DHERBS. And again, don't forget to use the promo code Roland. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.